the momentum of how long they've been there suddenly moves you to a vibration that you owe them to stay.
Yeah.
Okay?
I do feel that.
Okay. So you are innovation, and they're not moving up with you, right? So time is getting in the way of innovation versus innovation's going to change time.
My studio director and I were supposed to have a meeting, and she has a tendency to cancel at the last minute. And so
Okay.
it's just a minor trigger.
Right.
And so I get kind of irritated that she's always having to reschedule our appointments.
Sure. That's understandable. Okay. So go to that safe space. And what's her name?
Susan.
Okay. Go to that safe space right now. Stay in the safe space. Hey, it's
Susan.
Okay, I'm canceling. Now stay in the safe space. I don't know what her voice is like.
Yeah.
I want to come over, but I can't. I have so much to do. It's slammed. Okay, so she cancels. Can you feel that trigger when I do that?
It's hard for me to feel the trigger now.
Yeah. Good.
But,
Well, that's
yeah.
also cool. But what I want to do is honor for you when I go back to what we call the real world or whatever, let yourself feel triggered while anchored in this safe space. Because the trigger is a sign that you don't love something about you.
Oh.
Her trigger could be a symptom of you're bringing someone who cancels on you a lot. So you can look at what in you keeps bringing that into your life. It could be that you're making her life about you. It could be that you had an expectation, right? And you're not your expectations, your heart. So in the safe space, the expectations drop off. Maybe this could be the removal of expectations, and she's triggering to show that.
Yeah, I
Right?
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
The expectations.
So beautiful. So if you're in a safe space, you don't need expectations as much.
But I have this idea in my mind, as a business owner, that you have to have expectations on the people that work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they just do whatever they want to do.
That would be wonderful if they did what they want to do.
Oh. That's a new concept.
Yeah. Could you imagine how much shittier I'd be if I had expectations of how Dan filmed this, or how he edits it, or...
So then how do you set a standard for how you want your employees to perform?
Well, first of all, are they employees or are they co-leaders?
Maybe that's the problem.
Yes.
Okay.
And are we hiring people that energetically aren't leading themselves so that they work for you versus with you?
Okay.
You like that?
I see. I do. I like that a lot.
So when you have employees, then you have a mother-children relationship,
Yeah.
right? Versus soul to soul. I really love to remind the team, and they totally have taken the reins on it now, but that they run their own thing, I mean, we collaborate, and Carrie says, is there a thing you want me to talk about and meditate on every once in a while or whatever? But that's Carrie coming through. That's not me coming through Carrie. I mean, it is reflectively, but it's not like my way, right? I'd be pretty tired. If I had those kind of expectations. I have co-creative expectations, like, hey, can you guys be there? But when you hire someone who's in their heart and interested in what you're doing, then they'll be there, right? So if you have employees, you'll never hear me call them employees, right? They're the team. Right? Co-leaders. I actually feel vibrationally, even when we're done with an event, I always say we. I talk to people on the plane, I'm like, yeah, we have an event here. They'll be, who's we? I thought it's just you. No, we have a whole group of people that do this. Even when I'm by myself on a gig that they're not at, it's still we. It's still we. I can't do this alone. Right? So it's all we, right? Now, if they want to just honor you and not honor themselves and you at the same time, you're going to feel really heavy with them. Unless they're just doing labor-based work that doesn't require innovation. You need someone to clean the house, you need whatever, that I understand that. But you want to bring innovation from the experts in each field of that area, right? So Dan is brilliant at creating the art of these videos and filming, and we have a different person, Chris, on our logos. And
I guess in my mind, I thought it was okay to have expectations in the work area,
yes.
but yeah, that makes sense.
So what if you could lessen the expectations on like the exact way they do it and how they do it, but you trust that their brilliance and their art will come in. And if it doesn't fit, you still aren't negated in that. You still collaborate. Like I still approve of the things and collaborate with them and say that video is awesome and tighten it with them and all these different things, right? But if I was sitting over their shoulder saying edit this way or make the site this way, there would be no them doing it. And I know the same universe that's in me is in them too, right? But if I get too demandy, I'm going to crush out their universe and mine too. And it's just about me as a boss and them as employees versus me as a leader and them as co-leaders. We're all doing it together. Do you feel that vibrational difference?
I do. Yeah.
So do they have the freedom to go free reign? And I don't know, and do they want to? And does it excite you? And does it also fit with your heart? Do you know what I'm saying? Not like they're taking over or trying to make it about them as better, but like, do they have the same heart-based vision with you, but can you do their own unique way?
I feel like I support them in doing that. I'm not like micromanaging everything they do on a daily basis. We set targets, and we discuss it, and how they go about it is how they want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Does the target ever stress you?
Sometimes.
Yeah, so then there's a thing, it better be a certain time. We don't know when our stuff's coming out.
Yeah.
It comes out when we feel it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not, by the way, no part of me saying, so do it my way.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I'm creating a universal flow where if I say it's due in 2 weeks to the team, you know what I'm saying? All of a ssudden, new information could, like, suddenly a book deal comes in, we want to work on that, and this thing isn't as good. You know what I mean? Like, hold on, everybody. There's flow that happens, and every day new information comes in. So it's obviously good to still have an idea of a date and stuff like that if you want to. I mean, we know that the team next week is flying out to my house, and you have to schedule an airplane and stuff like that. But we've had so many times that I'm actually love to have Dan and Carrie tell you about in a little bit. We've had so many times where Dan came to the house to shoot or something like that. And I'd be like, what if we just hang out instead? And Dan's like, this is like when we started, it was like, I thought we were on like, I'm paid hourly. And I'm like, let's go hang out by the pool, or whatever. And the flow suddenly says, I don't feel like creating this thing that we planned yesterday. And then all of a sudden, new information can come in, and that's happened where that happened, and then a way bigger thing always shows up, a way faster, bigger way. If you start to feel you're showing up to something, and then you start to feel you don't feel like doing it, okay? Unless it's something like you're here, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to become, which I just was excited to do this anyway, but if it's like an event, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing it, well, I've made a deal, and I'll be there, and I'll figure out what in me, and then I learn everything about me, right? But most things, like if you're with the team, okay, let's co-create, but we got to create from a place of it excites us, and if there's a part of my body that says, I'm not feeling it. We end up going to lunch. We end up wasting money on an Airbnb, we think. Then we have fun at the lunch because I was heard by my body. It doesn't want to make these videos right now. I've had poor Dan set up like 5 cameras, and I get there, I'm like, you guys want to go get Hugo's lunch instead? And you should see Dan like, okay. And then... But then we go to lunch and we start coming up with something. We sit there, Carrie, Dan, and I are talking, and next thing you know, way bigger thing. We scrap the project we were going to do, way faster thing. It's nuts, right? So innovation can't come through if you're too married to ways, expectations, deadlines, right? Like this is really opening that flow. And the business is, all your businesses are just dying to do this. And what you have to do is cap those heavy things, like expectations, or, that's got to be tiring to like make sure right?
Yeah.
Right? And is there someone else that can either make sure or you can collaborate with someone else, or you find people that want to I mean, do you have to make sure that because they don't want to do it? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Does it drive them and call to their heart, all employee, all teammates, right, to get there and take over? I'm telling you now, the team is usually talking me into shit now. Right? They'll be like, hey, we got this thing. Do you want to do it? I don't want to do it. I'm like a 5-year-old now. I don't want to do anything. You guys do it. But the team, when they're guided, they'll pull you.
Yeah.
How nice would that be?
That'd be amazing.
What if your team could pull you as much as you pull them? Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing your body's wanting. It wants to know you're safe because you might have been doing all those things out of a fear of not being safe. Is there any possibility there?
Totally, yeah.
Right? So tell me a change that could happen from this dialogue with your business.
Well, I have a studio director who pretty much manages the whole business for me. She runs all the day-to-day stuff, and then underneath her are 2 separate managers, and so they're working together. And so I just check in with my director to make sure that things are running as they should. And
how does that feel?
Well, it feels good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean...
And what if she says they're not?
Then we talk about what needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And then we come up with a plan.
What is it you do?
I own 3 fitness studios.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So let me ask you this. So when you talk about the employees, who are they? Do you mean like the instructors?
The instructors, yeah.
Okay. So are those people die hard in love with doing it and love with co-creating with you in that way, like that they're leading themselves? Or do you feel like they're the kind of people that are doing it, but you can feel are going to leave and create their own studio kind of thing?
Well, a lot of my instructors have been with me for a few years.
Okay.
I've been in business now for 9 years. My director's been with me for 8 years, and a lot of my instructors have been with me for like 5 to 6 years. So, I mean, I really do believe that they're passionate about what they do and really believe in what we're doing together as a company. But I don't have as much one-on-one interaction with those instructors. I have more direct contact with my director. Okay.
So, so when you said earlier, you feel like, you got to make sure they meet the expectations or those things by deadlines, what is it that you're monitoring, or what is it that you're...
Well, it's not so much deadlines, it's just more of their attendance, how well their classes are doing.
I see.
If they're able to fill their classes.
Is it like
not.
an Orange Theory fitness kind of place?
No, it's different. It's a little boutique, and so it's like Pilates based with strength training, and so there's 10 to 12 machines in each studio, and so, yeah.
So do you believe...
It is.
What's that?
Yeah.
Do you believe the factor in the attendance of the people is based on the instructors?
I do.
Okay. Is that true?
I don't know. I feel like it is.
Okay. Or do you think it's vibration?
Wouldn't it be based on their vibration?
Could be, totally. So if you aren't, are they all vibrationally 10s to you? Let me ask you that.
Not all of them.
Okay. Okay. So now, just out of curiosity on this, the ones that aren't, why are we holding on to them?
Because they've been with us for a while, and...
So that's hoarding your past versus appreciating it.
Yeah.
Right? The momentum of how long they've been there suddenly moves you to a vibration that you owe them to stay.
Yeah.
Okay?
I do feel that.
Okay. So you are innovation, and they're not moving up with you. Right? So time is getting in the way of innovation versus innovation's going to change time. I love when I do a thing that becomes a da-da-da versus da-da-da. And it's like favorite moments. Like, oh, Kyle sees. So I just want to honor that we're looking at this, and I just want to play with the idea of what would happen. Is there a talk that you can have with them where they'll change, or does that still feel heavy? Or do you feel like there's freedom if you let them go?
It's a hard, it's something that, I've been thinking about for a while, and I don't know how many of you guys have taken group classes or are into fitness, but there's always like that X factor that makes you want to go take a class from somebody. And we have an instructor who's amazing, and she's the director, and she works with the other instructors to kind of coach them and guide them and get them to hopefully at the level that she is. But I feel like there's an intangible that you can't really quantify and
Yes.
you can't really explain. And maybe that's that vibration.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. So there are some people that have that magic.
Yeah.
In fact, Dan, in a minute, will play That Magic by India Ari. It's her new song. It's really good. So,
And that I don't think you can train.
right.
But
You're
they
getting it.
But they work
So imagine,
really hard.
imagine how much money you'd save in trying to and stop training low vibration people that won't change.
But they try so hard.
I know they try so hard, but they're not filling the rooms.
Yeah.
You don't feel good. You have to waste your time trying to make sure they're showing up and that they're into it. Think of how much freedom you could have if, yes, there's some training, like just so you know, this is our policy here, but you only bring in trainers that have that magic. And by the way, those trainers, you pay a little more.
Yeah.
Because we don't pay based on time, we pay based on vibration. Are there a couple of good trainers you have that are for sure 10s?
Yes.
That you could give more hours to?
Yes.
And how many more people would come in because they're always getting those trainers?
Yeah.
And there's less training that has to happen. And there's more people going to the people that they like to be with because those people have that magic. You have less people you have to pay. You have more money coming in. This is vibrational alignment.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you move this company to a 10. And you can see if one thing's off, you got to overtrain, keep pushing them to become what they're not, keep waiting for your cat to bark, keep training over and over and over. Then this trainer, who was wasting all the time training other people, could just be running those classes and killing it, making people really excited, want to come back more often. Those people aren't tired from trying to bring those people up. Are you feeling all that?
Yeah.
You save money on those other trainers. You know, different taxes and shit. You don't have to pay, like, you know what I mean? All those things.
Yeah.
And then other people are coming and just coming because they love who's there. If some people, you just said it, have that magic, and some don't. And you know what they need to get that magic? To get on their own for a while. Right? And we're just going to go after the people that have that magic. I mean, we're doing this, our company is moving so big worldwide, and there's really like 7, 8 people on the team, right? We're bringing in more, but they just got to have that magic. We'll bring in 10 vibrationally people, 10 people that are people that are vibrationally 10s. But you got to be on the high vibration because you're going to screw up the whole company if we keep taking people that we're waiting to get the magic that you have, right? In fact, that's what the expectation is. That's why you have to keep overlooking over the shoulder because you don't deep down trust that they're doing their job right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So how much freedom would you have if you just had less people, but it was the magic people? I guarantee you your company would skyrocket.
It's true.
Doesn't that feel good?
It feels really good, yeah.
Yeah. Now you know there were some people there that you've had a long time, and we love them. But you have to run a business.
It's the guilt that comes in because for a few of them, I'm their primary source of income.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
So
if
you owe them money. Meaning like, so it's your job. Isn't it funny that they're hard on you when you've probably been the only one who's been there for them the longest? Do you get what I'm saying? And they're the hardest on you. Like if you let go of them, you're going to feel guilty. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you've been the one person that's giving them income up until today. You should feel good about how much you've contributed, and however much they panic and stuff like that or blame you or whatever. This is just my thinking. If they get mad at you, you understand, you give them a severance or whatever and thank them for their time and whatever. But imagine how hard it is. I mean, you know how hard it is to run a company out of a place of guilt. It's hard enough to run a company.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're bringing guilt into your decision, then fear is deciding. Then we're trying to create people. By the way, I also can guarantee you, the higher vibrational the instructors, the faster the weight loss per class in the. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There are people that pick you up energetically, and you enjoy the workout, and you get more into the moment. So if you have people that don't have that magic and they're just running the techniques and just do this motion and this workout or whatever, sorry to sound so like a, you know, when your grandparents like, did you go on the Splash Mountain? You're like, it's Splash Mountain. Right? So when people are, you know, when people are doing a workout and they're with people that uplift them, they're going to come back faster.
Yeah, they do, yeah. With certain instructors, yeah.
Yes. So why, if certain instructors are killing it, will we not give those certain instructors way more time and less time having to train people that are making them heavy? And let's see what those instructors are like when they don't have to deal with the heavies. I'd love to see what their vibration would be like free of that shit. Does that excite you?
Yeah.
Just say, hey, you have it, and I want you there. It just works with you. I want you to work as much as possible. And do more. And are they open to doing more classes? Are they?
Well, I mean, I think that's the problem. That's 3 of my instructors are already in kind of a management position, and so they're half the time they're teaching, the other half the time they're managing, and so they're already kind of capped out in terms of the number of classes they can take on.
Okay, so even in those times where they're training the other ones, can we take that out?
We could, yeah.
Right, so there's a little more time.
Mm-hmm.
But then also energetically, they're happier.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Like just energetically, they might be able to do more.
Yeah.
The way I'm working from 6:30 till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Right? You can do more when you're happy. Right? So imagine the way that we let go of stuff that's heavy, that requirement that they think they have. I can just feel the whole vibration suddenly fitting into place suddenly for you.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll also make room to be able to receive a few other magic instructors. But your vibration matters. So when you're sitting in a job interview, or if someone's interviewing with you to be an instructor, do they expand you or not? It's not how long did they work.
Yeah. There's something in me that feels like, you know, as an owner, as a manager, that I should be able to kind of help them
Yes.
be better in what they're doing.
So your job as a manager is to take people that show no signs of that magic and bring them up, even though they've been there a long time, never actually got it. That's your job, is to keep pulling them up, even though, how long has the heaviest one been there, or the one that?
5 years.
5 years. So 5 years, they haven't shifted vibrationally, they haven't expanded. They kind of feel what? Like they're running, they better just be there or they'll be in trouble, or they're kind of, tell me about.
No, I mean, they do a good job in terms of like showing up, teaching their classes, but their numbers just aren't there.
Right.
Yeah.
But you also can feel energetically why, right?
There's just something missing. Yeah,
Yes.
There's just something missing.
What if we have a team, just take in this idea, what if you have a team, just play with this for a second, where everyone on the team doesn't have something missing?
Yeah.
Everyone. From first day intern to CEO, every person on the team doesn't have something missing. Everyone on the team can take in, to me, you have nothing missing. Yeah, no problem, Dan. One of the factors I actually care about much more than resume, anything like that, even if they on first day are off, are they adjustable? And am I scared or not to give them a no? The fact that you're scared to give them a no more working for me, is a sign. If you're scared to say no, because you know it'll hurt their feelings, you know that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Then you can't fully be you. You can't have your no honored.
Yeah.
So you're sacrificing your ability to say no as a business owner. This is your business, right? We want this thing to fly. If your no is followed by you going, I'm sorry, I know it doesn't make sense, then you're totally owned vibrationally. So you go from being a 10 to being a 5, and that's going into every other part, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
See that freedom of just like, if it was those few that have the magic and we wait till some other magics show up. By the way, you create a magical place, magics will show up all over the place.
Yeah.
Right? You create a fully, like you're getting the match to the vibration you're holding, right? So the business is sitting at a 7 or whatever, And if we let go of the things that aren't 10s and make it a full 10, you're a rocket ship and people will be dying to work with you. Be dying to, because they see the magic that you're embodying. Does that sound fun?
It sounds amazing.
Yeah. So what do you feel? What do you feel do you have a decision you want to make, or do you want to feel into
well,
it?
there's a part of me that feels like I'm asking for too much. It feels like my...
What do you mean?
In terms of wanting all of my instructors to be 10s, I feel like...
You don't deserve a fully functional,
it feels
awesome
like it's
10.
asking for too much. Like, I should be okay with a couple of sub-10s.
Ooh, I should keep it mildly mediocre. I should keep it at a 75% kind of thing. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
So you don't want to receive past 8.
Yeah, I think I didn't realize it until just now, but yeah, that's the way I've been feeling.
What if you receive past 8? What if you receive 10s? Because the business is showing that. You're tired from trying to pull up 5-year employee. Employee, totally. They're acting like an employee.
Yeah.
Not a leader, right? So what happens if you just make the company all 10s for a minute? Tell me, could you Kalego for me, like a couple minutes of the whole company was 10s so we can acclimate to it?
Wow. So after the Holy Shit event, I went home and I made a lot of changes in the business. I had a talk with my studio director, and we kind of narrowed down the instructors that we've been discussing over the last 2 years that we've been having problems with, and we just finally decided we can't enable them to be less than who they are. And we made the decision to let them go, and it freed up space, amazing space, for us to be who we wanted to be. Because we've known for a long time that we've been playing at a level that's not who we truly are. And it was so amazing. It was so freeing. And, even though the instructors that we let go did feel disappointed, we were okay with that because we knew in the end that we were actually serving them by letting them go so they could be who they really wanted to be in a different situation. And it was awesome. It was amazing. And by freeing up that space, we actually attracted even better instructors, more so than we would actually have ever even imagined that we could, because we've been living in that space of just being okay with what was and not realizing what was possible. So.
And by the way, that's what your body wants.
I can feel it.
Yeah. Did you know that you couldn't feel your body also because you're holding on to people?
I didn't make the connection, but I feel it now. Yeah.
Because your mind is always like this, so you have no idea what your body wants. It's okay, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. No more. I don't mean it like, let's feel guilty. I'm just saying you can take in that you've done everything you can. Right? You can celebrate that the struggle vibration is done and that you're just going to let it just launch around you. Doesn't that sound so magic?
It does.
Right? Does that sound fun?
It sounds amazing. It feels amazing.
Yeah. So do you receive a 10 business now?
Yes.
Yeah. So are we going to make these decisions?
Yes, totally.
Are we going to do it?
Yes.
All right. You know what you should do on lunch? Totally schedule an appointment with the people, if you want to. This is suggested, with the people that you're going to say goodbye to.
Okay.
While you're in this vibration. So you don't have time to go back into the habitual low vibration or medium vibration. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Isn't this cool, you guys? I hope this talk is shifting things for you. Because it can be simpler. You can have less teammates and more work for them because they got that magic. Don't underestimate the power of a high vibration person, and don't give them less work so you can fill those slots with low vibration people and meet this mediocre. Get the high vibration people as much work as possible and surround them with the other high vibration people so all of you can grow so fast. Because it's been like driving a car with the emergency brake on for 5 years. And there's all kind of components to a car. And you've been with some instructors like the wheels and the engine, but you've been hiring, because you feel guilty of letting go of a parking brake, you've been hiring a parking brake that's just on. And you're just talking to it about releasing itself. And it's like, no, I live on. So the car can't go anywhere fully. Let's take the brake off. Watch how fast this moves.
I love it.
Isn't this fun?
So fun.
And you said, let me ask you this too. Has it been 5 years of thinking, what do I do about this person?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what magic can't get in on the other side? What's on the other side of that wall? When you're always going, what do I do about this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing? That question, by the way, will show up until you do the thing. It'll never just, what do I do about this thing? What do I do about this thing? Well, on the other side of here is magic. Now it can hit you in the face like it hit me in the face because it was in the way. What do I do about this thing? What do I do about this thing? It's blocking me from seeing the answers, right? You can't will alignment. You just let go of what's not aligned. And you raise the bar of all of us so much and they see the magic on the other side of it. Yes, they'll be annoyed for a second, or you might be surprised, they might be totally grateful. Yeah. Or relieved. No problem. You might say it and they'll be like, thank God I was just offered this other job. And you're like, take it. That's my competitor. So what if vibrational people could move faster because we do this, and then we could create more vibrational people? Because there's a lot of people that were in your position that are vibrationally open but need permission to step into that heart-based place by people like you creating the first fully, I guarantee you, none of your competition, very little of your competition, are just tens like this. Not there even is competition. You move like this, there won't be competition. You'll just fly. And watch as you have less people to pay, right? And you have more clients coming in, and they're getting faster results because they can't wait to be there, or whatever the results are the way that you guys supply it. But that everyone's a vibrational thing. You all can't wait to hang out. You all want to go to dinner together. You're doing the work. I notice that Carrie and Dan and I, when we talk, we can't not come up with, all we're talking about are new possibilities, right? But it's not like we say, and then we'll do this. It's like we just talk, and within 40 minutes, there's always the next step for our business, but we think we're going to dinner to hang out, right? Vibrational people are in the purpose, right? But when you have someone there that's not, the conversation is about things, right? The football team did this, whatever. Now you're talking about circumstances. No ideas can get through. And you always move at the dinner or the conversation at the level of the lowest frequency, right? So the lowest frequency just wants to talk about why their life sucks, what happens in the world, and why it's affecting them. They're all in to me. You got some to me's in the company for another day, right? And then when you got the whole team's in through me, it's just idea. So you actually start to be able to measure millions of dollars that are leaving when you actually have the meetings with someone that's in a lower vibration. Mm-hmm. Because every time just Dan and Carrie and I go out to dinner, boom, 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 it's all takes care of itself. Dan and Carrie went on a trip together, and they were like, we're going to take a week off of work. And then they went on their own love journey together, and they came back with a whole new game plan for the next year. I was like, did you guys even date? Or did you just... But that's like their heart's in purpose. Your heart can do all of it together, right? You want people in their heart, not their head. Heads just talk about things. Hearts are in possibility, all conversation, right? Yeah. So what happens if the collective conversations are always tens, right? You'll start to want to give them partnerships and stuff and be able to bring in more money to you and bring in more money to them. You can let them do it because they know how to run it. You can sit back and watch as they build this business with you, create it. They might do it their own way, but you know they got it. Doesn't that sound amazing?
Amazing, yeah.
And that's what your body needs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.